Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Fadi. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. The links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And Fadi sent in quite a few requests of a commentary, then a review of 3 films, one of them being the first Men in Black movie. So I figured I would do the commentary first, then since it'll be a bit more fresh in my mind, then I'll do the review right after. So thank you, Fadi, for the requests. For those interested in requesting anything, review, re-review, commentary, tier list, reaction, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So I'm pause the beginning, and let's get right into it. Thank you, Fadi. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And for syncing, there's the logo of the woman and the toga. She got anything up that skirt? She may be French. No, that was Ghostbusters 2. But the Columbia logo that will fade out now. And we have the stars, and then for syncing, the first words will be Columbia Pictures Presents. So Men in Black, 1997. I remember, weirdly enough, this is like one of my early memories of cable, because we didn't have cable in Iowa till maybe either late 96, early 97. There was something, it might have been Show West. It was some program that was showing like the latest movies that are coming out. And it was like Alien Resurrection trailer, Men in Black trailer, and it showed just the flying saucer landing, crashing in front of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. And by that point, I knew Will Smith for 2 things. Men in Black. I knew him for this. Bad Boys 1, which was 95, and then Independence Day, which was 96. I had not seen The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air by that point. Now, I did not see this in the theater, but I did see this on home video and liked it ever since. I do think the first is the best of the 3. Rick Baker, interesting, he's working on this because Steven Spielberg produced it, and the 2 of them had a bit of a row, a battle, so to speak, back in the day. So I guess this is a way of mending fences. Really do like the score. I think the score very much fits the film, the tone of the movie. Now, this was based on a comic book. I have never, to this day, read the comic book, so I don't know how it differentiates, how it's similar. For anyone who's read the comic book, let me know. I'd love to hear any information about it. Now, I think at one point there was talks of Clint Eastwood, them wanting him to be the Tommy Lee Jones part, but then Tommy got the part. And apparently he wasn't really sure because the initial script wasn't that great, but Steven Spielberg, pretty big name. I mean, not just for the films he directed, but think of all the films he produced, even stuff like, hell, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, among other movies, just producing. He was a juggernaut. So when Spielberg is attached to something, you kind of either know they'll possibly more than likely be a hit, or something of value. Now, before I go, Barry Sonnenfeld, who directed the film, he had done the film Get Shorty, and he had done The Addams Family. Now, and the sequel. Now, I think at the time he was busy doing other stuff, because I think 92, there was talks of doing this. I didn't realize this, the driver of this, right, the driver of this truck, is John Grease. That's the guy who was the werewolf in the Monster Squad. He was one of the uncle in Napoleon Dynamite. He was the vampire that was more Wolfman-like in Fright Night Part 2. But yeah, I never knew for the longest time that this driver here of this van was John Grease. I'm like, oh shit, okay. It's very minor part, but still. I'm like, oh shit, I know who that guy is. But yeah, they weren't sure who was going to direct the film, but then because it took a bit for it to get going and, to get the casting fit, and because of that delay, Barry Sonnenfeld eventually did get the directing chair. Tommy Lee Jones does a great job. He has the perfect deadpan demeanor and reaction to things going on. And I always like Tommy Lee Jones. Whether it be in Volcano, whether it be The Fugitive, whether it be Under Siege, this film, Space Cowboys. Always nice to see him in a movie. Before this, he had done Batman Forever as Two-Face, which I don't think was the best time he had, because him and Jim Carrey did not get along. What was the line? I don't appreciate your buffoonery, or something. But Tommy Lee Jones did a great job in this. And as for the Will Smith character, well, I'll wait on that until we get to him. Again, Tommy Lee Jones just has that perfect deadpan demeanor that works. And I would say of the three, this one I thought had the best tone. Because there are fun elements, but this one seemed like it just took itself the most serious in a weird way. Like, there's fun and there's humor, but it had this, they're very businesslike. They are the police force, but of the intergalactic variety. Even when they're trying to recruit a new Men in Black, they're very, very specific, and they're very, I mean, Will Smith has some fun to it, but it still seems like the rest of them are taking it seriously. Then you look at the second film, and who Will Smith's partner is. I'm like, there's no way this guy would have made it through that process. I love the design of this creature, and what's weird is this creature seemed to be heavy in the marketing, so I thought he would be in this a lot more. It's also the creature that's in the music video. We are the Men in Black. The Will Smith music video. And I think this is a really cool design. And I wish this alien did not die so early. Just, again, I think it would have been cool to see him in this a lot longer. This is actually one of my favorite designs of an alien in the film, so it's a shame that he's not in it that much, but does give a good impact. And I like the idea of an alien pretending to be a human and having this like animatronic head puppet thing. And of course you have the blood be blue, which is where I keep that rating. If it was red, then no. Blue, because that's one thing the MPA does not like certain weird things. They don't like the color red. If the blood is blue, green, yellow, you throw as much of it as you want. It's still blood, but it's just the color of it. Same with, you could crack a neck, but if there's a loud pop, if the sound is too loud, it's too intense, we'll cut that, bump the rating up. But yeah, the whole procedure, you have the neuralizer here. It seems a very complicated device, and you look at like the back of it. I know Tommy Lee Jones later says months, days, years, but it seems so complicated. Like, when you look at that, like, you saw a little bit there, but it seems like the machine has to be a little bit more detailed to be able to wipe the memory in a certain amount of time, but it's definitely a good plot device to get people to not remember certain things, make things less complicated. The guy wearing the blue goo, I swear I've seen him in other stuff, but I can't remember his name. I'd have to look it up, his name. And this film, as well as the third film, which I don't mind the third film, they had a bit of heart to it. So like this bit here with the music, I thought the music was rather sweet, low key. Same with at the end of the film when he gives the neuralizer to Will Smith, passing the torch, and it's retirement pretty much. And I think the music works very well, and the idea of a certain level of sweetness to it. Which, I mean, you could tell this movie was pretty much a oneer. Otherwise, why would it end that way? Like, think about it. If you thought this was going to be a franchise, why would you end with the partnership? It's like the original ending of Lethal Weapon 1. The original ending was that I think Berthold was going to retire, and then they were going to separate and stuff. And it was shot. You do find it. I think it's featured a little bit like this little making of that was on the Lethal Weapon set. But they thought, well, what if this is a hit and we'll make sequels? And they changed it. I'm sure if they knew 100% they were making a sequel, they would have changed the ending. But of course, now we have Will Smith as before he was slapping people because people said G.I. Jane 2 and shit. And Will Smith, before he started being a cuck, before he started being a simp loser, I mean, I liked him as a performer, entertainer. I do think he works well for what he's supposed to do in these movies. There's a nice flip here coming up. Nice flip. Ba, ba, ba. I thought that was nicely done by the director to have it all done in one shot where he flips and then leaves and doesn't cut it. Because it makes a little bit of a wow, a little bit of ooh for the audience. But just the cuts, it's like, okay, you could hide the cuts, but to see it all done in one go and leave. Another cool little, I don't want to say practical, just a guy going up the wall. Like it was Spider-Man from the 70s TV show. But yeah, Will Smith, I do think I'm not one of those guys that hated Will Smith. I did like him. Bad Boys 1, I think, is a very fun movie. I think Bad Boys 2 is insane in a good way. I saw that twice in the theater. I, Robot, I liked. Hancock, I liked. Although I think the third act it kind of falls off the hinges. This one is fun. The second one's there, which I will get into. That was another request. And then Men in Black 3 I actually didn't mind. What was going to end? Yeah, here we go. The blink. Yeah, I thought that was a cool little effect. And that's the thing. This is not a movie that's just wall-to-wall special effects. The little things like that eye blink tells the whole story. And then you look at the way Will Smith is acting. There's humor to it. Maybe a level like Axel Foley and others would have it, but he's still a serious cop. When you get to the sequel, he's like a lot more goofy, silly. I'm like, okay, if you acted this way, there's no way. By the way, I love the detail where you can see the spaceship up top. And then when you rewatch it, it's cool to see that detail. So you slowly see it as it's coming down here. Goddamn truck. I know I'm going all over the place because it's a pretty fast-paced movie. But yeah, you don't have Vincent D'Onofrio, who's good as the villain, Edgar, and then it's the human suit of Edgar. But yeah, Will Smith. Sorry, damn allergies. I think he has a lot of comedic talent. And I think he when he did this, they wanted Chris O'Donnell, which would be funny enough because Chris and Tommy were in Batman Forever together. But Chris O'Donnell was an up and coming actor. I think even Spielberg wanted Chris O'Donnell, but I think it was Barry Sonnenfeld who said, I think like his wife would watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and then he liked him in this Sister 6 Degrees of Separation movie where he had a smaller part. Not a smaller part, it was a bit more of a dramatic role. I think that's what the film was called. And then Will Smith wasn't sure about it because he had just done an alien film, Independence Day, so am I going to be the alien guy? But Spielberg's like, okay, So this is who Barry wants. Listen, the script's going to be reworked. And, I mean, this is your shot. Like, it's a good shot to take with this. This could very well work. And it did. It became huge. And what of Will Smith's franchises? I mean, the Bad Boys films, which I would have thought there would have been more Men in Black films than Bad Boys films, but here we go. We have 4 Bad Boys films and 3 Men in Black. Well, okay. I guess technically there's 4 Men in Blacks, but 3 with Will Smith. Skin's hanging off your bones. I like this actress too. I think she does a good job with showing just kind of this is her. Is that better? That is a pretty cool shot. I think that's a good use of CG. And then the other side is practical. Which when it's on the other side, you see him kind of holding it like that, and he's looking the other way. Kind of reminds you of something you see like Beetlejuice or something. Now, you see how small that spaceship is? We see how big Edgar the Bug is. How the fuck did that bug fit in that little flying saucer? Now, again, when you watch Will Smith's character in this movie as a cop, he's still serious in his manner, in his attitude. He has a wisecrack ability. I did like an Axel Foley type, but he's diligent at his job. Again, when you look at the other Men in Black films, he's a lot more... It's like you would never believe this guy was a previous police officer. That's the thing, when you watch these films like in a row, you see like, it is strange how he has one type of demeanor in this, and then I know people go, "Whoa, yo, you mean like people change?" But again, it's like they forget who he was to begin with, where he started from. So there we had a brief Linda Fiorentino, which we'll see later. I'll talk about her more when we get to the morgue. He was out of breath. See, when you see like Men in Black 2 and he's like talking to the people on the subway train, and he's like, "Oh, you're being very big and very broad with the humor and such." You look at his demeanor in this, it's just much more low-key. Surprisingly more low-key. And that's what I mean by, while there are some fun and goofy moments in this film, the tone is a certain way that they definitely made it more slapsticky goofy in a way by the time you get to the second film. And again, for years I can never put my thought into, okay, I don't hate the second film, but something about this is a big step down. Number one, because it feels like things are rushed, which apparently shit was reworked because of 9/11, because that came out 2002, and so there was stuff reworked and parts of the third act was changed, and stuff you tell was cut out. It was a pretty short movie. But that'll be for the next one, because Men in Black 2 is another one Fadi requested. But of course here we have Tony Shalhoub, which I love the TV show Monk. That's a great show. Of course, he's been in a lot of other stuff. He was in The Siege with Denzel Washington. And look at the way Will Smith's character is dealing with Tony Shalhoub's character. There's a serious nature to him. And then when he thinks he's killed him, look how serious Will Smith gets. And look how super serious he is. And if it was like the sequel was like, oh hell no, what you doing? You're crazy, huh? I don't know. Well, that's not Will Smith. Whatever, it'd just be like bigger, broader performance. And also just that fish out of water mentality. You can't recreate that again. Maybe they tried to, and Tommy Lee Jones is to be brought back to the fold, but doesn't quite work. But I like the idea of a guy who gets his head blown off and comes back. And this humor I thought worked. What top of those watches there? Because it's more of a, I don't know what to say. I still have to say something. So, yeah, those watches. But also maybe it's one of those things that as time goes on and you become more successful, then you get to have more power. And when you have more power, whether you want to call it ego, you feel like you need to project yourself in a certain way. So then you start seeing Will Smith become more of the typical Will Smith performance. And that happens with a lot of actors. When you watch their early work, their differences here and there, and then when they get to a certain level, it's kind of they're in a comfort zone, or they expect the audience for them to be this certain way performance, and then they carry out in that direction. But again, it's interesting when you watch this, you just see how serious Will Smith's character is a lot of the time. And then when the comedy is a bit, compared to the sequels, more low-key. Oh, nah, you know. You know, that kind of thing when he's talking to Linda Fiorentino later. And this film did very well at the box office. I think it was number 3, because there was Titanic, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, and then this one. But yeah, back then I did not get a chance to go to the theater much because it was just so far away. I think that year it was probably just The Lost World I saw in the theater. At that time, it was like maybe a once-a-year thing, maybe twice a year to go see something in the theater. It had to be like a big enough movie that we all, you know, the family wanted to go and all see it. Again, you see how small that flying saucer is. How the hell did the bug fit into that fucking thing? Because you see how fucking massive it is at the end. Part of me would like to know more about this guy. What is his story? What got him the opportunity to be the guy at the front? What makes him qualified to be the guy at the front? Is this some deeper meaning? Something we don't know about that makes him is like more formidable than we think or we know he is? Or maybe it's just one of those things that just stays a mystery. Now you're Rip Torn. Rest in peace to him. Rip Torn did a good job in this. I mean, you just see all the candidates here, and you just look at how serious they are. The forms of military. Look for the best of the best of the best, sir. And Will Smith's reaction just seems more natural here. Got Captain America over here. Best of the best, sir. With honors. He's so excited, but he has no clue why we're here. I like that Tommy Lee Jones, found that funny because he's probably thinking the same thing. Even this humor I would call more low key, where it's maybe something we've related to in life, where we had to do something, and it's like, how do we fill this? Like in a hospital. I mean, usually they give you like a clipboard, which I don't know why they would not give these folks a clipboard. But we missed. I like the bit they poked a hole through the fucking paper. But yeah, you would think, yeah, you would give them just a clipboard. But eventually Will gets the smart idea of, no, there's a table here, let's use the fucking table. But in a way that kind of serves of him thinking outside the box. And he is able to accomplish the goal. I mean, they're all look at him, but he did the right thing. And this is him noticing how come these all different creatures. What's the deal with that? What the hell was that? Hesitate, sir. Hit the girl right between the eyes. And of course, Will, his tears being goofy here, but it's more of just kind of a assertion of being against authority. Like, I would like to know what the hell's going on here, and maybe even a part of him is like, I like to know why I would be shooting, who I'm shooting, and what's going on, and it definitely hold it out on me. But yeah, you look at all these other people that are up for this. Then you look at some of the people that become Men in Black later on. You go, how? How did that and that and that person? I always forget his name. The guy who played the Tick back in the day. The guy who's like Will Smith's partner at the beginning of Men in Black 2. I'm like, how did he pass his way to being a Men in Black? I mean, you two make the easy argument of Men in Black only needed one film. And you probably have a point. And again, while I like the third one for what it is, and the second one I don't hate the film. But yeah, if you made this a oneer, just a one movie, I would not have been mad. I guess I would say it would be better for it. Just had an ending, you know. Tommy Lee Jones' character got his happy ending where he got back with his wife. And he's off, you know, retirement, happy with his wife. They took that away in the second film. Because for some reason she dumped him and all this. I'm like, okay, well that negates the ending of this one. How sweet and happy it is. Yeah, you tell that was a bit of ADR, or the way he's describing those saucers, those it's like this is for the ending of the film. We need people to get this information. So fill in, you know, Will Smith saying all this gobbledygook of what these things are. Well, that's definitely a way to prove there's alien life. But yeah, Rick Baker did the makeup effects. The Twin Towers. There you go. Never forget. Before this is, I think, one of the best, most important scenes in the movie. I love the line though. A person is smart. People are dumb, irrational animals. This whole spiel here. Granted, there are some persons that are not smart either, but the sentiment, I do understand and mostly agree with the sentiment. If I'm as though you were so sure that there's no aliens on Earth, imagine will you be sure tomorrow? And this whole thing with the catch here. You get rid of your identity. Any family or friends, you never get to see them ever again. And the fact that you give this choice and then you have this guy make this long, tough decision. Do you want to get rid of everything in your life? Any friends or family, ex-girlfriends, whatever that you have, to never see them again? I like the music here. I think it fits. And I think there's this shot here that shows the landscape and the orange sky. Beautiful shot. It's a small scene, but I think it's a very important scene. And then it's weird when you get to the second one. Oh yeah, you just bring, you could, Will Smith's character could just wipe out multiple people's memories. You know what? Find a wife and have babies. Tells that to his partner at the beginning. I'm like, wait. This made it so of a choice of, if you say this, there's no going back. But the second film is like, yeah, you would just, neuralize you, neuralize you, neuralize you, neuralize you. Linda Fiorentino's character neuralized, and she was able to go back to her morgue job. I mean, here it's like, okay, there's some finessing to bring Tommy Lee Jones back, but it seems as if, oh no, that's not something you just undo that easy. But apparently it is when you get the Men in Black 2. So, Linda Fiorentino, yeah, she just put her back to where her job was. Okay. But I'm like, don't they get rid of your fingerprints? Like, all the stuff they do here. Here you have the, call almost like the airport, the compound of the Men in Black. Cool way to show a lot of different designs. Of these creatures. Different variety of species. But Rick Baker. So way back to the day, let me tell this story. Rick Baker was working with Steven Spielberg on a film called... Oh, what was the fucking film? Night Skies. Night Skies? I think it was called Night Skies. So what happened was, it was going to be a movie where there's a bunch of aliens land on a farmhouse. The others would terrorize the family, and one would become friends with like this little boy. And it would kind of like what would become Critters. I mean, except with the good one having being friends with the boy, but then little aliens terrorizing a family on a farmhouse. That to me sounds like Critters. But anyway, so Rick Baker was supposed to design the creatures. Well, after some delay and after some time goes on, Steven Spielberg doesn't want to do the horror movie anymore, because that's what it would be, a horror film. He wants to do a family film, E.T. Because of all the delays and other stuff, Rick Baker's like, well, wait a minute. You took all your time doing all this stuff. I gotta go do this other film called Might Have Been an American Werewolf in London. It was one of those movies. It's like, well, I gotta do this. I can't work on your project anymore. Spielberg got pissed, went in, and stole a bunch of his fucking designs. Gave them to someone else that looked very suspiciously like Rick Baker's designs of E.T. But as you take to the creature, extending the face a bit this way, crush it a little bit this way, and make the eyes a little bit warmer, gentler. And it was pretty much E.T. And that the guy who did the effects of E.T. won the Oscar. With no credit, no word for Rick Baker. And I think for the longest time, that's why Rick Baker never worked on anything with Spielberg. Here, I don't know if it was just, okay, you guys don't have a talk, you guys don't have a conversation, let bygones be bygones. I don't know. Or maybe it's one of those, hey Rick, I want you to do this, but you and Spielberg don't have to talk to each other. You don't talk to me, Barry Sonnenfeld. Maybe that's how they worked it out. Maybe. Yeah, it shows here they delete your entire life, so that'd be very, very tough to put you back into the system again. But I mean, maybe a retirement plan after years and years and years and years of service, but not if you've been in it for a fucking month or 5 months or something. But anyway. Now I know with This guy coming out with the cat, and then there's the other alien we're going with the guy we don't see that's bald headed. Might have been a guy who played Lurch in the Addams Family movie. I'm not sure. Might have been. Not this guy, but the guy coming up where these two meet. I know that the plot was a bit different. I think what it was is that the two that meet were two warring intergalactic warring factions, and so they were there as kind of like a peace treaty thing, and then the bud fucked it up. But I know they reworked some of it, and since it was alien talk and subtitle, then they were able to change a bit of that plot and post production. I like the details you put in, like the tentacle aliens that are monitoring the controls that we saw earlier. They just have these big eyeballs. Weird that they were. I mean, very rare for this kind of big budget film that they don't be speeding up the camera like it's Benny Hill. But hey, there you go. Of course, Vincent D'Onofrio does a good job. He's definitely the best villain in all three of these. Just the way D'Onofrio has to pull off this kind of. He's not right in his body because he's wearing this suit. So the face is always sagging, and he's always just trying to figure out how to walk correctly within it and such. Yeah, I think in the original, like these. This subtitle was a bit different. There's his break. Did you see how vicious this guy is? I mean, when he shoved the thing down the guy's throat, the exterminator, and bent this guy in half like Jason Voorhees would do. It's pretty violent. I mean, it's Aftermath, but it's pretty violent, the tendencies. We're going to see another shot of the cat, right? Oh. I swear we see another shot of the cat. Could be wrong. Yep. Now, if you noticed earlier, what does it say on his belt? I believe it said Orion? Something like that? This is another guy that looks familiar, too. Let me look this up, because it don't bother me if I... Might as well. I mean, I got a computer here. But let's see if I can find... Oh, and if I could find the people on here, might not be able to. Kind of interesting, yeah. It's a nice shot to have the Twin Towers in the background there. Doing fine, Slick. Or doing fine, Ace, whatever. This is definitely one of those points that was used in the trailer to kind of sell you on what kind of craziness would be entailed throughout this. I thought this was a really nice puppet, like practical effect. They did a really good job with this. Well, they did actually make it kind of cute. Like the way the eyes blink and suck in its tentacle, whatever. Very nice practical effect job. Yeah, the whole damn thing. Yeah, I have to look through the other parts of the credits. Apparently, David Schwimmer was up for the role in Men in Black and rejected it, and says one of the biggest mistakes he made. I don't know if David Schwimmer... I don't know. I don't think it would have been as big with David Schwimmer. Because Will Smith is like this up-and-coming star that definitely brought a bit of spotlight to the film. And he definitely had that right vibe and energy for the movie. I don't know if David Schwimmer would have been able to do that. Now, I know this actress, she was in The Negotiator with Sam Jackson and Kevin Spacey. I think she was in Forrest Gump and other films. But I will say another thing that the movie does nicely is it has a bit of this world building where it has all the different types of varieties of aliens, has the way the Men in Black operate. So, for example, the tabloids, the crazy stories that no one takes seriously, that's the stuff, that's the most realistic paper in the world, the most factual paper in the world. All the hidden aliens throughout, just doing their day-to-day life and duties and jobs. It's weird when you look at the other ones. I think that's another thing why this film works so well is that for the most part these two are together. And the second film, it takes a bit for Tommy Lee Jones to get back in, and then when he does, he really doesn't know what's going on because he has no memory of the circumstances. So everything's a bit off because it's just kind of this overlong build up to get back to how they were in this one. See, that even there was funny, where he didn't like how dismissive Tommy Lee Jones is. Like, yeah, okay, and he gives it the middle finger like this. See, and a seat would be like, "Oh hell no, come on!" I keep saying, "Oh hell no." Does that seem like a type of phrase or reaction he would garner later for a variety of movies? But a bit more subtle kind of worked a bit better for this. And yeah, I wonder. I have a feeling that some of that, what Tommy Lee Jones was saying, where it was on Will Smith's face, was probably stuff they had him add in later to maybe to just give more explanation, description to this Bud Light creature or Bud creature. Linda Fiorentino, which she got famous for this film called The Last Seduction that made a bit of a wave when it came out. And then she got a number of roles. She was in Jade, the William Friedkin film. So yeah, Jade. You had this film. You had Dogma in 1999. But it seemed like wherever she went, she had a bit of a reputation of an attitude. So I don't know if it's true, but there's talks that her and Tommy Lee Jones did not get along for this. One of the stipulations for Tommy Lee Jones coming back was, I don't want to work with Linda Fiorentino because she had this attitude, temper about her. But also in Dogma, that Kevin Smith was saying that she wasn't easy to work with. She would just create a hostile environment for no good reason. And like she would get jealous of others who were more famous than her. And even on the commentary, I remember on the commentary for Dogma, Janine Garofalo was in a little bit, and he was talking about her, and she's like, Kevin Smith pretty much goes, kind of wish I cast her for the lead. I remember there's like laughter, and I think it was Ben Affleck was like, making friends. And Kevin says, well, she just, then he tried to be, well, she had a tough role where everybody got to be funny or got to be crazy or silly, and then she had to be the very serious role and kind of be the, carry a bit of the plot forward and such. But I know later he apologized, but I'm like, well, it seems like she was just bitchy. And at this point, I believe the old Kevin Smith than I do the new Kevin Smith. I think the old Kevin Smith was more honest. The old Kevin Smith was more honest, more straightforward, less bullshit, and told it more like it is. Not because he wanted to be rude, but he was just being honest. Does that mean I always agree with him? No. I like... There's some films he didn't like, some of the Ben Affleck films like Paycheck and stuff. I, Robot, he's like, I like the first 2/3, but not the ending. I don't mind the ending of I, Robot. But still, it's his opinion. Agree to disagree. But I did. That's when he was just more funny and more honest. And you know what? Yeah, Janine Garofalo probably would have been a better lead than Linda Fiorentino in Dogma. I don't think Linda didn't do a bad job, but I think Garofalo would have been a bit more interesting. But eventually she did not come back for the second film. Now some producers say, well, we just didn't have a big enough part for her, which may have been true as well. But I mean, to not be in it at all, and I mean, You had people like Tony Shalhoub and other people in there for bit parts. She could have been in it as an agent and does them a favor for this or this reason. And Tommy Lee Jones, I mean, he had a tendency to not get along with co-stars either. It's just he didn't get along with Jim Carrey and Batman Forever. You see how far away he is from Linda in this shot. I mean, it makes sense for the character and such, but yeah. You don't find a lot of scenes between Tommy and Linda. Probably for a good reason. That has a cool effect. The little alien within the faceplate thing. Like the idea. It's a creative idea. Like the special effects. Things very well handled. Great animatronic work. Especially on the eyes. What is the word? Orion's belt. Of course, the problem with them is she not call it a belt, she'll call it a collar. It's on Orion's collar. Because we don't call that a belt. But I mean, it's an alien. I could forgive an alien not knowing 100% on how human, things, the correct terminology. I mean, if it was me or you on Earth, then it'd be like, why the fuck do you say it? But it's an alien, so of course, again, he would not know all the correct terminology. And if you had said collar, then collar. Wait a minute. Collar, animal, any animals? Oh, that animal. And the mystery would have been solved a lot earlier. So. Damn, we did the Flash thing already. I did. The humor at times kind of just, I did more like natural reaction to the situation. Which, by the way, it's weird that they flash her because when she wake up, look down and see that there's a fucking alien there with a face open. So does that mean this is gonna? I think he even says they're gonna flash her again, neuralize her again. So why even neuralize her? If they knew they would have to neuralize her again, why even neuralize her at that point? You know what I mean? Like, he knows she's going to have to be neuralized because she would have looked down and see, oh shit, what the hell is this alien on my morgue table? But there you go. Oh, I think this is where you get a little bit of the... Yeah. You get a little bit of the backstory, the emotional core of Tommy Lee Jones's character. The woman that he loved long ago. But what's sad though is like all this stuff here, which is rather sweet and gives a bit depth to the character, they just completely do away with in the next one where off camera she dumped him for some reason. Oh, because he, the way he acted in the Men in Black, and but I get that you want Tommy Lee Jones's back, but all you did was just betray one of your emotional cores of the first film. So now it's not about storytelling, no matter how they want to word it. It's about money, which I was always about the money, but still. So I'm sorry, I'm looking through info. The film was going to be set in underground bases and locations, including Kansas, D.C., and Nevada, but Barry Sonnenfeld made New York in the film's main Earth location. More believable that aliens could hide out in a large city and thought New Yorkers would be more tolerant to people who behaved oddly. Barry claimed he directed Tommy Lee Jones to play every scene straight, and Jones became frustrated that he wasn't allowed to do comedic takes, while Sonnenfeld insisted Agent K had to be completely serious for the comedy to work. Well, Barry had a point to it. I mean, he had a good point. I think that was the right call. The comic was much darker and drier than the family oriented sci fi comedy. In the comics, the MIB surveyed not only ET life and activity, but paranormal and supernatural activity. They're allowed to maintain secrecy even by elimination, and a secret agenda to manipulate and reshape the world in their own image by keeping the supernatural hidden. Hmm. Ooh. Of course, yeah, I mean, this is a joke that you kind of would expect that the tiniest gun would make the biggest bang. And so it's him like doing his job as a cop. It's just the fish out of water influence of not knowing how this weapon works and how best to utilize it. And the way Tommy Lee Jones says is, there's always an end of the world. There's always a threat that's going to kill all civilization, the whole planet. But we do this, we don't create a panic. So the idea that in every day or every week could be an end of the world scenario seems like something that's a bit a sobering experience, perhaps, or realization for Will Smith's character. Sorry, replying to someone. Damn, they stop wrecking my shit. Why are you wrecking my shit? Now you're stealing my shit. You wrecked my shit, now you're stealing my shit. God damn it. You wrecked it, now you're stealing it. God damn it, you. Prophet Goma Pile? Fucking Goma Pile. You're fucking me over. And I believe the voice of this dog is Tim Blaney, the guy who voiced Johnny Five in the Short Circuit movies. I believe so. Which I didn't know, but I thought that was interesting. I thought they did a nice job with the dog and making the lips move like this. And it makes for a funny visual too of him this here trying to get information. Just the way people reacting. But yeah, they did a really good job with the effects. They got commended for that. Did a really nice job. Up, here's the realization. Wait a minute. Now they know where to go. Granted, they get there a bit too late, but Orion. There you go. And of course, also the thing here is that the galaxy is small, and then the realization that we live in a galaxy that is that small, that this one alien's just playing with a bunch of like marbles. And then with each film, when it ends, beat, they try to do that again. So like was in the second film, we're in a locker of a giant, which I'm like, okay, so we're in a locker of a giant thing that's also as part of a marble of this. Oh, it's okay, whatever. I don't even remember what the hell they did with the third movie. No, I think it was more of the guy thinking, is this a scenario where the Earth is going to end and then something bounces off? Is, oh, nope, this is a different one. You have David Cross there, which he was in Scary Movie 2, among many other films. He was in Alvin the Chipmunks movies. I think he was in Small Soldiers. I forgot David Cross was in this. Don't do that. Do what? Did nice makeup on the face of D'Onofrio. In particular, the eyes. Damn, it's only 27 minutes left of the film, so. Pretty much the end of the third act of the movie. She's going to get kidnapped. Then you have the bit with the car and the final battle. That's a pretty big fucking gun he's got, I gotta say. And it's a fun little scene where he thinks she's flirting with him and all that. And it's coming up. I like the reveal with the match that the group lands on it and the slow kind of look up and the reveal. Thought that was some nice direction. Barry Sonnenfeld. He kind of. I mean, he was I think like a cinematographer, and I think he got some big movies under his belt, like the Addams Family films had some success. Get Shorty did well, and then this one did well, so it felt like it was a toast of the town. But then the next film he did after this was Wild Wild West. Now Will Smith after this, I think, did Enemy of the State, which did well. Because I think that was 98. But then 99 was Wild Wild West, and that was considered such a laughable disaster. And of course, the bit there was that Will Smith said no to The Matrix and yes to Wild Wild West. Which I'm sure is one of the big mistakes he ever made, and film-wise, that is. But Will Smith was able to dip back up, and again, he did the Men in Black sequel, and I, Robot, I Am Legend, which did well. The Pursuit of Happiness, which did well. Barry Sonnenfeld, though, he kind of... Like, he did Men in Black 2. I guess there was some kind of tension among people in Men in Black 2, because apparently there was talks of not bringing him back for Men in Black 3. I don't know if it's true, but I read that there was some tension between him and Will Smith during Men in Black 2. I don't know if that was Will Smith's a bigger star, so, you know, Especially as I don't like John Landis. It's kind of like how Landis worked with Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. And he said working with him on Trading Places was very different from working with him on Coming to America, and it was different from working with him in Beverly Hills Cop 3. So while Sonnenfeld worked with him, maybe each one of those was like a different experience working with Will Smith. So early on, there's no ego, there's no expectation. But now that your star has a bit more power, a little bit more leeway, more of a producer role, more control, you know, now you're able to tell the director what to do more. And some directors, don't like that. It's like, hey, I am the director guy, not you. But I don't know. Tried to find a ton of other information on it. I don't even know what Barry Sonnenfeld is. I mean, I think he. I'm trying to remember that TV show. Was it Lemony Snicket? I think he worked on. Did he work on Wednesday? I know Tim Burton did, but I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I can't remember what else Barry Sonnenfeld has done after this. Well, that's bullshit. I do like that reaction. Oh, that's bullshit. Hey, old people. Hey, old guys. So Barry Sonnenfeld did The Addams Family. He did For Love or Money. I forgot about that with Michael J. Fox. Addams Family Values. Get Shorty. Men in Black. Wild Wild West. Oh, he did that film Big Trouble with Tim Allen. Same year as Men in Black 2. He did RV. Men in Black 3. And then he did Nine Lives. That Kevin Spacey film where he turned into a cat. To be fair, I've never seen that film. I guess he also directed the Beverly Hills Cop pilot. I completely forgot about that. And a series of fortunate events. He directed 10 episodes. So no, he had nothing to do with Wednesday. But a series of fortunate events. Because I did watch some of those episodes. He worked on that. Oh, he directed the pilot of The Tick with Patrick Warburton, who would be in... Well, no wonder he was in Men in Black 2, because he directed him in the pilot of The Tick, which came out in 2001. This, of course, is one of the scenes people remember the most. Being in the car, driving upside down. You do know Elvis is dead, right? Nope, he just went back home. Fun scene. Here's the Elvis talk. He went back home. See, that's a scene that's not this big action set piece scene, but it's a scene that works for the characters and the tone of the movie. And that's the thing. I looked at this more as just like a comedy, sci-fi. There's a little action in there, a little bit of action, but it's not guns a-blazing, Rambo style or Starship Troopers style. Starship Troopers, if I learn how to talk. So it works for what he needs to showcase and do. Of course, we set up those pictures early on during when Will Smith's character was getting hired. So we just show, so this doesn't come too out of left field for people, that is. So there you go with that. Finally got the big guns. There. Yep, this is the shot. This is the scene that I remember being like the teaser that I saw back in late 96, early 97. Like in 90, I mean, because it came out in 97, like the summer and stuff. So it must have been either late 96 or early 97, which is when we got cable. And I saw this one. Ooh, cool. Good model work there. I mean, you tell with the way the two characters, there's like a kind of a light fade to them, how it's imposed, so they're not quite in the reality of the scene, but it's still a fun bit of a sequence. See, I would have immediately just shot the motherfucker. Just shoot him right now. This is where we're going to say goodbye to D'Onofrio. I do like the when he tears the back of his head open, the practical of that looks cool right there. So I like that they mix in at least some practical, and then you don't towards the CG shot. Why they're not firing right now? Because they're gonna be shooting right now. Sorry about that. Had to do some real quick. I am a little bit off the mark, but I'm 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 43 seconds in. For those who want to follow along, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. By this point, they were pushed back. They're on the ground. They're getting back up. Did sorry, certain things that had to happen in the real world that had to get taken care of. So we're back to here. A regularly scheduled program. Well, he did say he was going to get his gun back. Takes him a long while to get that gun to... I mean, look how short that body is for... Like, think of how tall Tommy Lee Jones is. Damn, takes a while to get that gun and fire it. I mean, it's not like there's a whole lot of room to search. He's trying. Riding bucking bronco of a tail. Now imagine if there's no bugs over there. Imagine there's no bugs by that damn place. Damn, that's a lot of roaches for that damn garbage. No, he don't like that. He's not liking that at all. No, he don't like that one damn bit. I like that idea that the your alien bug has a bit of affinity for our known bugs, and so that's a way to take things personally, so to speak, which they establish at the near the first act with the exterminator. So again, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built up from the beginning. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I think Tommy Lee Jones said that he didn't mind the slime, but Will Smith had an issue with it. I don't know, the way Tommy Lee Jones' vibe is, it seems like he would have a problem, but who knows? Nice little surprise here. Yeah, nice mix of the CG creature, but obviously the big splash was practical. You see a lot more goop onto them. Just like the Will Smith dude, they barely opened his eyes by that point. And you give all of them worth. Will Smith was the distraction. Tommy Lee Jones blew the half of the bug off and got, able to find the MacGuffin, and then she finished the job. And yeah, I thought this was a nice little emotional ending. I wasn't training a partner, I was training a replacement. So I like the idea that kind of the reveal. He says here, train a replacement. And yeah, I think this is what the second film was missing, is that it didn't really have a strong, to me, emotional core to it. The third one tried to rectify it. The third one had a little bit more. The timeline's still confusing as to how old Will Smith's character is and how old he would have been when he was a little boy and his dad. And I don't know, that was a bit weird to try to get my head wrapped around. Wait a minute. This was what, the 60s? And so this character was a little kid in the 60s? What? Yeah, I was trying to wrap my head around, what? So how old? when the, I don't know. I mean, Will Smith was born in 1968. So Will Smith was born in 1968. When they travel back in time, it's 1969. So he would have been like 1 year old. But in the movie, he's what, 8, 9, 10 years old, the little boy version? I'm like, what? Like, how old do they want us to think Will Smith's character is? But, you know. But yeah, that bit where you find out he is retired, he's happy, he's going to enjoy a happy retirement life with his loved one that he's been missing for a while. And granted, there were a lot of scenes with Tommy Lee Jones' character lauding for her, but still, there was something there. Seems like a nice bit, but then, nah, let's take it away. Here's the reveal of holy shit. Makes you wonder who this alien is to have this many goddamn galaxies in its marble bag. Who is this alien? And then you have the song there, which was also a big hit. We are the men in black, galaxy defenders. Ah, Sean Whalen, passport officer. That was Sean Whalen. They was in People Under the Stairs. Vern Troyer, Alien's son. Vern Troyer, of course, was Mini-Me and Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Yeah, Tim Blaney, Frank the Pud. Tim Blaney was the voice of Johnny Five in Short Circuit. Oh, Howard Berger was one of the puppeteers. Howard Berger, the B in TMB. Cool. Didn't know Howard Berger was one of the puppeteers. But yeah, this film, it went by pretty quick. It's a fun movie. Still holds up pretty damn well. Thank you, Fadi, for your patience. I know I still have a few others to get to, but again, thank you for your patience and your kindness. I really appreciate it. This was fun to revisit. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more detail of the making of, but hell, if you really want that, you could go on IMDb trivia and read it all about it. And there really hasn't been like a full documentary on this film, which is, it's interesting when you look back and you see what films have gotten I mean, I like Jason Goes to Hell, but it's funny that Jason Goes to Hell has a full-blown documentary, which actually, I mentioned that because it was sent off in the mail and it's on the way here. By the end of this month, it'll arrive. But it's just funny, like, Jason Goes to Hell is a documentary, but Independence Day does not have a full documentary. The Rocky sequels, any of them, don't have full-grown documentaries. Speed, Keanu Reeves, doesn't have a full-grown. This film, Men in Black, no full-grown documentary. I don't know. I just find it interesting. I think there's a full documentary on Rumpelstiltskin and some other films. The Mutilator has a pretty, at least about 45 minute making of something, but not Men in Black or anything. It's funny just how that works out, but there's other factors, and you all know what the factors are, so I don't need to get into it. But I'll hang out for another 4 minutes, why not, with the end credits, see if there's any name that pops up or anything I could remember and delve into. But yeah, it was fun to revisit this. I remember having the original DVD where there was no features. Then they had like another DVD that was a little bit more features, where it's like a little bit more on the... But I don't know if there's really anything new. like making of, like interviews. I don't know. I think this does have a commentary of Barry Sonnenfeld and Tommy Lee Jones, which is interesting because Tommy Lee Jones is not really known to do commentaries. Ah, there you go, K and B. So the B was burger, so I just, and of course industrial light and magic. Definitely been around for a while. A lot of popular films like Star Wars, among others. But yeah, fun film, entertaining movie, still holds up. This is the sequel I'm not big on, and the third one I did think was a step up. But I don't think any of them have gone to the level of the first film. Oh, on a side note, I never watched the cartoon. I know there was a cartoon. I don't know how long it lasted. But yeah, Men in Black, the animated series. Like I said, I don't know how long it lasted. But interesting that it did get a cartoon series. Of course, no Will Smith, no Tommy Lee Jones. I think Vincent D'Onofrio might have voiced some Bud Light treat. I don't know. He might have had something to do with it. I don't know all the details of it. And good musical score, fits the film very well. The Men in Black song, like I never really got into Will Smith's music. It's never really my thing. I mean, I have a little bit of a chuckle with Nightmare on My Street, and they have music that kind of rips off the Nightmare on Elm Street theme. And they might have gotten in trouble for that. And then Wild Wild West is catchy, whether for the right or wrong reasons. Wild Wild West. West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, he don't want none of this, none of that, none of this. A Wild Wild West. Witty Witty Wild Wild West. Jim. It's kind of, for his kind of catchy. That's one of those films that. Okay, I will admit, I don't hate Wild Wild West. It's just one of those things that I watch and I go, you know what, this isn't really that good, but it's mildly interesting just to see what they attempted, but did not get the mark. I kind of appreciate the attempt. It's kind of a unique, kind of an interesting attempt. Like a Western, but these sci-fi attributes and wild, weird ideas. But, I mean, I watched that over the Running Man remake or the fucking Happy Gilmore 2 or a bunch of other shit today. But it's not a great movie. But, yeah. I've seen much, much worse. As you probably already know. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.